The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
And good morning. It is 5 a.m. on this Tuesday morning. I'm Alex Fisher along with Kevin Sherratt. Maddie has the day off. Kevin, filling in. I think we're going to start doing this on a regular basis.
This is a repeat of just a few days ago, and my neighbors came out the other day and said, hey, that was interesting to see you on the anchor desk. Yeah, let me tell you, it is interesting because I tell people all the time, you know, in weather we ad-lib everything. Right. In news, we read prompters, so I give it a try here and there. But overall, we've been talking about the air quality. You're sounding a little bit better today.
Just a little bit better. I kept my windows shut last night.
That's a good thing. I didn't go out for the walk yesterday, even though I should have, but with the air quality the way it is, another day where we're going to probably want to stay indoors as much as we possibly can.
Your time now is 5:03, and the Facebook whistleblower heads to Capitol Hill today. She is a former Facebook employee who accuses the company of putting profits over user safety. She testifies before a Senate committee just hours after the company suffered one of its worst service outages in history. NBC's Chris Pallone has the latest.
Back online, Facebook up and running this morning along with Instagram and WhatsApp, which Facebook owns, after a worldwide outage leaving potentially billions without the ability to like, share, and comment.
The scope of it is just utterly remarkable.
CEO Mark Zuckerberg posting on his page last night, sorry for the disruption today. I know how much you rely on our services to stay connected with the people you care about. The outage coming a day before a former Facebook employee testifies before a Senate subcommittee.
Facebook over and over again has shown it chooses profit over safety.
Frances Haugen told 60 Minutes she has tens of thousands of documents that she says shows Facebook's dangerous disregard for safety, pointing to how the social network turned off internal settings meant to fight election misinformation before the January 6th Capitol riot.
That really feels like a betrayal of democracy to me.
Speaking exclusively with NBC News, Facebook's head of global research denies it puts profits over safety.
That is absolutely contrary to my experience. It's also contrary to the facts. I mean, since 2016, we've spent $13 billion on safety and security. We have 40,000 people working on safety and security.
In her Senate testimony, Haugen is expected to push lawmakers to pass new tough regulations for the nation's social media platforms. As for that worldwide service outage, Facebook says it was caused by a faulty configuration change, and it believes that no user data was stolen during the outage. In Washington, Chris Pallone, NBC News.
In your 17 Crime Watch this morning, 2 men have been arrested for the shooting death of another man in North Bakersfield last week. It happened September 27th in the area of Jewett Avenue and 35th Street. That's where officers found 45-year-old Eddie Raymond Bustamante Sr. dead. Police announced yesterday 38-year-old Emil Alvari and 24-year-old Angelo Rodriguez were arrested on Friday for Bustamante's death. Alvari and Rodriguez are being held without bail on suspicion of murder and conspiracy. They're due in court later today. And the CHP suspects alcohol may be a factor in a deadly crash that took the life of a 24-year-old Arvin woman. It happened just before noon Sunday on Comanche Drive just north of Edison Highway. CHP says the woman did not stop at a stop sign, lost control, and crashed with another car and motorcycle. A couple and a little girl in the other vehicle sustained minor injuries, and the motorcycle rider was not hurt. CHP also says it appears the driver who was killed was not wearing her seatbelt. United Way of Kern County is partnering with Lyft to offer free rides for COVID-19 vaccines. There are several requirements to be eligible for a free ride of up to $25, according to United Way. Those eligible have to wear face coverings, leave the front passenger seat empty, and windows must be down when possible during the ride. To receive the discount code, you must have the Lyft app downloaded. To see if you're eligible for a free ride, just head to our website, kget.com. Meantime, Kern County District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer yesterday issued a consumer alert warning residents to not print fake COVID-19 vaccination cards or purchase them from people selling counterfeits. Zimmer's office says she is aware of counterfeit cards advertised on social media and other websites and wants to make it clear it is illegal to misrepresent vaccine status and may be prosecutable under federal and state law. She says those using fake cards are actively harming public health efforts and endangering our community. For ways to report the use of fake cards, just head to our website, kget.com, and click the hot link icon. Meantime, the Bakersfield Police Department is inviting you to a national night out. This year's event will take place in person. It is happening tonight from 6 to 9 p.m. at Patriots Park. National Night Out is an annual event where law enforcement officers get together with the cities they serve to promote unity. Again, it's happening tonight from 6 to 9 p.m. 5:32 is our time now, and recapping our top stories on this Tuesday. 2 men have been arrested for the shooting death of another man in North Bakersfield last week. Police announced yesterday 38-year-old Emil Alvari and 24-year-old Angelo Rodriguez were arrested on Friday for the death of 45-year-old Eddie Raymond Bustamante Sr. The suspects are in court later today. California Governor Gavin Newsom is declaring a state of emergency in Orange County to support the emergency response to the oil spill off the coast of Huntington Beach. Categorized as a major spill, at least 126,000 gallons of oil has poured into the coastal water since Friday. Officials say it could be weeks, even months, before the true impact to wildlife is known. The Bakersfield Police Department is inviting you to a national night out. It's an annual event where law enforcement officers get together with the cities they serve to promote unity. This year's event will take place in person. It is happening tonight from 6 to 9 p.m. at Patriots Park. An update now on a story we first brought to you yesterday on Sunrise. Local law enforcement say threats made toward 3 local schools are not believed to be credible. Golden Valley High School, Thompson Junior High, and Edison Middle School all released statements yesterday saying they are aware of the threats which were made over the weekend. Bakersfield Police, the Kern County Sheriff's Office, and the FBI, as well as the Kern High, Panama, Buena Vista school districts, say they are all looking into these posts. Sheriff Donnie Youngblood yesterday called it a social media event that originated in Los Angeles County that is so far not believed to be credible.
Be alert, we're on alert, and we will do our best to protect your children.
The Sheriff's Office sent extra deputies to patrol campuses yesterday just as a precaution. COVID-19 has wreaked havoc on schools across the country, and virtual learning, quarantine, and closures. And now schools in Kern County are struggling to find substitutes. So they're raising incentives. 17's Chris Burton is in studio with more. Chris?
Good morning, Alex. Kern County school districts all pull subs from the same county-wide pool. Now that pool is running dry, and it's forcing districts to pay the price, literally.
Multiple officials at Kern County school districts paint a picture of intense competition for substitute teachers. It sparked a bidding war, raising daily rates for subs higher than $200.
Individual school districts are, of course, having to compete for the same depleted number of substitute teachers who are in the pool today. One of the ways, primary ways that that's being done is to increase their pay scales for daily substitute teachers.
It's a perfect storm of factors that includes uncertain schedules for long-term teachers and a shortage of substitutes.
Pre-COVID, we averaged about 2,000 or so individuals in the county-wide eligibility pool. That depleted to about 1,100 last year. Today, we have about 1,500 in the eligibility pool.
Bakersfield City School District has seen students reassigned classrooms because schools couldn't find a substitute. On Tuesday, BCSD approved an increase to a $215 daily rate for subs, a huge increase from a price point around $150 in previous years. Districts across the county have enacted similar pay hikes.
That's something we're looking at, we're discussing, and it's always something that we're looking at every year.
Steve Martinez, superintendent of Kernville Union School District, doesn't see numbers improving in the coming months.
It really depends on, at least for this year, what's going on with COVID. But I think for the foreseeable future, we're probably going to have a shortage of substitute teachers.
Pam Bauer, president of the BCSD Board of Trustees, said we could see another pay increase if a fourth COVID surge forces more absences.
It's to the point now where schools are doing everything they can not to shake up classrooms or move class online. Martinez himself has filled teaching slots when no substitute could be found. In studio, Chris Burton, 17 News.
All right, Chris, thank you. Meantime, today marks World Teachers Day. It is meant to highlight the responsibilities, rights, and the value of our teachers. The theme of World Teachers Day 2021 is Teachers at the Heart of Education Recovery. The theme recognizes teachers for their tireless efforts to keep teaching even during hardships like the pandemic. And we want to give a special thank you to all the teachers watching this morning. We appreciate everything that you do. I know it's been a very difficult year. A normal year is difficult, but especially this year. This is now the third school year that has been impacted by the pandemic. So again, thank you for continuing to do what you do every single day. Now to an unfortunate update on the story we've covered extensively. The story of Carrie Anderson, which captivated the community 3 years ago, now at an end. The rape and assault survivor succumbing to a recent injury, dying Sunday at age 63. Anderson was raped when she was 23 years old and struggled to survive after the brutal attack left her with a traumatic head injury. Her case went cold for decades. In 2018, former KGET reporter Olivia LaVoice followed Carrie's story and profiled her daily struggle since the attack. After the story aired, hundreds of people in our community rushed to help Carrie. In a display of generosity common to our community, people came together to refurbish Anderson's home. People also prayed for her, hoping the man who was responsible for raping and leaving her for dead would be arrested. Just last June, an arrest was made. Although Olivia left KGET in 2019 and moved to Seattle, she has stayed in contact with Anderson, creating a lifelong bond. Late last month, Anderson suffered an injury and never recovered.
Welcome back. New evacuation orders were issued yesterday for the KMP complex fire. Late Sunday night, winds caused a spot fire across Mineral King Road, which prompted the Tulare County Sheriff's Office to issue an evacuation order for Crest, Sierra King, Hammond, and Oak Grove. The temporary evacuation point is at the Woodlake Community Center in Woodlake. All previously evacuation orders and warnings remain in effect. Officials say containment decreased due to the increase in fire size. The KMP complex fire has burned more than 76,000 acres in Sequoia National Park and is only 11% contained. Meanwhile, the Tulare County Sheriff's Office yesterday downgraded the evacuation order to an evacuation warning for the communities of California Hot Springs and Pine Flat. All prior evacuation orders and warnings remain in effect, and portions of the Sequoia National Forest around the fire zones are still closed to the public. Officials say the Windy Fire, which is burning on Tulare River Indian Reservation and the Sequoia National Forest, increased by more than 2,200 acres in the last 48 hours. The fire has burned more than 95,000 acres since it sparked by lightning on September 9th, and it is 70% contained.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.